Thanks for staying with us. So another really hot topic in Nigeria is the incessant kidnapping of young children. Teenagers, little kids, all are not excluded in this rampant kidnapping we've been experiencing in the last few weeks in Lagos State and across the country also. So a story went viral over the weekend about one Okada rider who, I think it's not Okada rider, a dispatch rider, thank you. Oh, I just got distracted. A dispatch rider who they allegedly caught a little child in his back, the back box that he carries. And this child was found, and I think they arrested. I'm not even sure if they arrested him because I saw them carrying the man in the bike. Again, Jungle Justice hitting him, trying to get him to the police station. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Another similar story of a man recording a child who was allegedly, possibly dumped in front of his house, according to him, by midnight. In the morning, he had to do a camera, report the situation to the police station so that they try to get the videos viral so that the parents can actually come forward for the child. And then there was a third story of a teenager. I mean, I heard that the girl has been found. Yes. I can't remember her name. Yeah. That she was missing over the weekend. Yes, I posted it on my page. I also posted it on my story, actually. If I can get her name, she's been found, which I was so happy about that. But somehow, this has been happening, reoccurring, where youngsters are being kidnapped. And it's important we bring these kind of stories to the fore because we must be more vigilant in our community and live with. Gone are the days where you can say, yeah, 5-year-old, go and buy this, buy bread. Go and meet. Those days have passed because you can't keep doing that anymore. It seems like it's no longer safe. There's the conspiracy theory. Elections are on the corner, and these are doing these, all sort of stories. Some are saying they're using them for rituals, people are looking for money. There are so many stories. I said, all these funny conclusions we make. Investigations in the past, we don't know the conclusions that have happened, those that have been kidnapped in the past. You see, everything is a bit frustrating, but it's important we talk about these things because it's painful to talk about, to think about, but we must talk about it so that Nigerians are aware. So let me start with you. I don't know what your thoughts are when you had the story.
I mean, wicked people are wicked people and they're everywhere. So I guess we need to start doing things and taking measures to protect ourselves and, you know, leave the rest to God and the government. I remember one time my husband said he went out with my son when he was much younger and left him in the car to just quickly do something. And someone that he knows recognized the car and came to the car and was talking to my child, and my son was talking back. And he said to my husband, "You haven't taught this boy how to be wary of strangers. This is not right. You know, sometimes we are very protective of our children. We don't want them to know that there's a wicked world out there, but there's a wicked world out there." So you hear Oyinbo people teach their children about strangers. Don't talk to strangers. And, you know, when they talk to you, take your face away. And when you see an adult that you know, you quickly report it. When we were growing up, we were taught not to take anything from strangers. When they would bring biscuits to you to give you, don't take anything. If you see something on the floor, run very far away from that, because our parents understood that that was how they would lure you and grab you. I'm saying all this not because I'm trying to give a pass to the kidnappers. I'm just saying we need to do something to help ourselves. Because, you know, the usual thing is government is not doing enough. People are not doing enough. These wicked people, whatever strategy you get, they'll try and circumvent it. So the thing is, be careful your children not to, you know, be on the streets. Many people let their kids go on the streets to do things, to buy stuff. You hear a little child, I think the one you were talking, a child went to get the ATM at 13 years. I know how that is. It's good to want to see your child being independent. Yeah. But the new world that we live in, we have to be more careful until God, you know, saves us, until there are proper things put in place. See, abroad, sometimes when these things happen, they have like CCTV cameras. They can say, okay, this is where the child was last seen. And this was the person that quickly you can trace. In Nigeria, it will be, this person just went across the road and no one would say that they saw your child. So on that one side, as parents, we need to do better. We need to be more protective. I'm sorry, this is the new world that we live in. But then as government, we need to make examples of the people that we catch. Exactly. We need to see their faces. We need to see how it ends up for them so that people can learn. The picture of the boy that was, the video of the boy that was caught in the dispatch rider's box When I saw the dispatch rider, he's a young boy. Yeah. What is he doing kidnapping? What is he looking for? What does he expect to get from kidnapping a child? I don't get it.
To sell it.
I mean, people have just, the world has just gone, turned upside down.
So I would say, let me start by saying evil thrives where there is no justice. If there is enough justice, we will reduce the number of people that resort to crime and evil. There will still be wicked people among us. We cannot entirely eradicate evil and wickedness, but we will reduce the prevalence of people resorting to that when there is justice, number one. Number two, communal living used to be our way of protecting ourselves because when you cross the road, I've said this story several times, I wanted to cross the road under the bridge, and before I could move, my mommy called me. Because somebody thought that Tope wants to cross the road, I called my mom that Tope wants to cross the road. And mommy called me, don't cross the road, take the bridge. You know, so it was, everybody was watching. Why are you crossing that road? Stay on this side. That's when your parents will, they just see you that, go back into the house. Everybody was watching each other's back. But now, we don't even know our neighbors' children.
Everybody's greedy now.
That was another check. Number three is, we used to be raised street smarts. And
Papa, take me there. Ooh,
we need to
thank
be
you for taking us there.
So we need to be street smart. Like, you understand, if you hold me, I know where to kick you. If you grab me, I know how to scream. Like, we need to, our children don't understand street smart.
Clue on street smartness. Have clueless.
So I heard a story of one boy that it was the first time he was going out. He was going to, they said to him on that errand. It's a grown-up boy. He was going into university. And somebody said, let me use your phone to make a phone call. And he gave out his phone to make a phone call. I'm coming back. And the boy stood there from morning till night waiting for the phone to come back. His parents were not looking for him everywhere. He said, but somebody said I should give him my phone. He wanted to make a phone call. So I gave him the phone. And I did not see him again.
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria. In Lagos. So we raise these children. They are not streets. They don't understand. You let them know kidnapping take place. If somebody is giving you this, shout at them and say, don't kidnap me. We need to get back into that space.
Thank you for taking us there, because it's a whole different world. I mean, God help me. Recently, you're talking about prayer earlier. And when we're praying in the house, you know, my husband goes into all these strong prayers, strong team prayers. And I just open my eyes and say, bros, these are children. They don't have enemies of the highest, ancestral enemies. They calm down now. Take it easy. But you see, I can understand he's trying to let them know that this world is there's something in the world. Because these are little kids, skabashing, and I'm thinking, bro, they're just kids. Don't bring them into the ancestral enemies and the demons that are chasing their father's father. Don't do that. But the truth is that we do that because you prepare, this should have begun to understand that there's a bigger world out there, and there's a lot of bad things happening, and we need to start
We're living in a jungle.
We're living in a jungle. So that's the reality of our times. These children must be able to know how to do these things.
We've tried to, you know, sometimes we always say, let me protect my children so that they don't experience what I experienced. But darling, you experienced and you came out this way, and you came out strong. So it's not all that bad. And I'm beginning to realize that most of the challenges we went through, we had to go through to be the substance that we are today. And they are necessary. But with everything that is happening now, I don't know how safe it is to introduce them to the streets. We can talk at home, but if you don't leave them to practice what you're saying, you will not know. I didn't know. I felt I was talking, I was preaching, I was teaching, till my children went to the boarding house, and I was like, whoa. Hold on a minute. Whoa, I didn't see this coming. And I brought them back. And I saw where I needed to pay more attention to and to work. So if we preach and teach and we still put them in that cocoon, how do we know that when they go out there, they will practice? We will never know. So the thing is, do your best as a parent in terms of protecting your children, but also let them see the other side. So you can show them, you can, you know, talk to them about it. You can share. Parents don't like to share their bitter experiences with their children. You know, we like apart from me, we like to act like we are saints. We did not go through this, we did not go through that. It's good to start telling your children real life stories of what you went through and how you were able to overcome it. Now, the other case of the child that was abandoned is not today people born Peking that they don't want to take care of. So it could be that case that a girl got pregnant and then put up the child and didn't have anybody to look after the child, just decides to keep that child. So in that sort of case, what you advise is that the person takes the child to the police station. They'll find a motherless baby's home. While they're looking for the parent, they may not find that parent You may not find that lady, but then the child will be adopted. You know, there's a way they do those sort of things. And I'm also happy that the person who got the child is not a criminal. Who would have said, God, don't send me lamb for sacrifice, and decide to use the child for something else.
All right, so we have an update. I mean, the producer just sent us an update saying that the young boy that allegedly kidnapped this little boy is actually his uncle. So she said that the mother insisted that the dispatch rider seen with her child is her child's uncle, and she was the one who gave him the child. She said he's not a kidnapper, as was claimed in the video shared by locals who saw him with the child and assumed the worst. Now, so in this case, so the whole, I don't even, so in this case, says I'm the one that gave him the baby myself because I trust him. He's my baby's uncle. Okay,
so put in a box.
In this situation,
we need to have more investigation.
Yeah, there's more investigation. Yes. So first of all, we are happy that it's an uncle, right? That's a good thing. But also, today we'll be saying mothers must be very careful. Giving your child to an uncle is not really the safest thing these days anymore. We don't. That was back then. You shouldn't be giving your children to just anybody. On what basis would you give a child to an uncle?
Be in the box. Because it was maybe you are trying to move the child from one place to the other, and there's no place
for the child to sit down. But the story didn't specifically say it was in a box. Actually, we don't know, but we only saw the box open, so we're assuming the child was in the box. But there's a possibility that
child was sitting in
it was possible.
I don't know. They won't have raised that sort of alarm.
Yeah, they said the dispatch was in the box. Yeah. But there was another story about the abandoned child, and I think that we need to create a system where a person can give up their child for adoption on a legal way. And we need to, and there are many orphanages around. Don't dump your child. If you're pregnant, you don't want that child, or you're struggling to raise the child and you don't want that baby anymore, don't dump the child in somebody's house. Because some people actually, maybe postpartum depression, or they just, like, life has happened to them. The bills are so much. They're looking at the baby and they're like, I cannot survive with this baby. There are orphanages. Go and dump the baby in front of the orphanage because you are sure that your child will be used for money rituals or something, and they will get proper care. Take that child to an orphanage. Don't just let's provide enough safe haven around for people who can't handle that responsibility part time.
So we have to remember
Can we stop also shaming the people who get pregnant out of wedlock, because that's where it comes from. So you shame them, they hide, they give birth to the baby, and they dump the baby. We've heard stories of dumping baby in toilets, dots being bags, and all those things. If we stop the shaming, then people will come out and say, I'm having this baby, but I cannot take care of this baby. I need help.
As we wrap up on this, I think we're happy that the child is safe back with the mother, which is a good thing, but it doesn't negate the reality that many children are being kidnapped today. And parents must see things differently going forward. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we do have a confirmation from the Police Public Relations Officer, Lagos State Command, the CSP Adekunle Ajishebutu, concerning the child who was allegedly abducted. According to them, the child's mother, Lovina Bitters, was contacted, and she revealed that the child was actually taken away and put in a dispatch motorbike because the child was crying uncontrollably. And because the child is a 10-month-old child, because the child is fond of the rider, who is a relative, a neighbor, and was crying uncontrollably, the rider, she allowed the rider to take him along to go pick up, because he had a job, so she allowed him to take the child to go pick up his job to pacify him. Unfortunately, passers-by who saw the child with the rider along Shangotedu said they became suspicious when the child was crying uncontrollably, and saying that the child might have been stolen, and then they raised an alarm and attracted a mob.
Thank God
the mob subsequently pounced on the rider, beating him without finding out the truth. This goes back to jungle justice. Dispatch rider, later identified as Williams Tadule, was said to have been rescued by the chairman of the Sunview Estate, Shangotedu. All right, so this is jungle justice right there. So we appreciate that the community identified a child, right? Crying and suspected. Now, what we would have preferred is that stop it and then direct him to the police station. Where did you get this child from? Who is the mother? Then carry him. But the fact that there's a mob around beating up the guy, the child was probably traumatized because the way they carried the child, you know. So as much as we appreciate the attention, but there's a better way of doing it. So the local government within Shangotedu maybe it was EAT or local government, whatever it is. Their job, therefore, now is to begin to educate Nigerians. The motorbikes, we're going to go out to the campaign. The motorbikes associations will go around to the downfall drivers associations, go around to all they're out there, so they will market some of the allergens and talk about, speak against jungle justice. How do we do things? We can reach them.
I'm sure we can reach them because we collect money from them. All Okada riders contribute money on a daily basis to the local government. There is a machinery that ensures that local government drivers, Okada riders, Keke Napep riders, bus drivers, they pay. They do meetings, they have ID card, they reach out to these people. So it's possible for us to disseminate information through them. Our market women attend meetings every week. So it is possible for us to push these messages because there are, and we cannot know for a fact, but I am very sure innocent people have lost their lives to jungle justice in Nigeria. And if we reduce it, we can still have justice, but it doesn't have to be done by people on the streets.
Let me ask you a question, please, Miriam. So your child is crying uncontrollably, and then you take the child and give to a neighbor.
No, his uncle.
His uncle. That is, everybody's uncle could be neighbor. Yes, at the same time. Give to your uncle, to his uncle or his neighbor. And he takes this child to work, and the child is still crying. See, we need to start going to parenting school.
Not everybody
If your child is crying, giving your child to somebody else to pacify is not, that is totally wrong. You should find the reason why your child is crying and pacify your child. Why are you handing your child? Hold on now. We are parents. You are parents. Your baby is crying. And instead of you to find you may be busy. You don't want to pay attention. Yeah. It's easy way out to say, follow this person. They will give you biscuits or make you okay. And then you go. Now, she's a child. She's clueless. We need to start going to some of these parenting schools so that we know the right things to do when issues like this happen. What if the child was killed? You said because
he fell off the bike.
Yes, you said because the child is crying, you will blame yourself for the rest of your life. We need to be careful as parents.
I understand where you're coming from, and you're right. If the situation is that you carried your child because you did not want to take care of the child, but it has happened so many times, that means all of us will arrest us. There have been times I've given my brother when my children were really tiny, and then I was like, please take this child. He's crying, stroll with him. Do you understand? And then someone will now see him on the road and beat him because he did something that he would normally do for his nephew. So there's a safety issue. The safety issue is different, where if he had put that child on the bike or in that dispatch box, that is wrong. That's a serious safety issue, and that is wrong. But to give your child to your brother or to an auntie who is taking a stroll around the estate, if it was in a car, let's just assume that the guy had a car and the baby was in the car seat and still crying. That person wouldn't have gotten that much attention from anyone. But it's because the person was on a bike, and it's a bike that they have. If it was a bicycle, it's the bicycle that they have. If they don't have car, it would be leg, and then you see a young man carrying a baby and just strolling. I have carried my son one time, and I got on a train. This was in London, and Foggy cried from the beginning of the trip to the end of the trip. Yes, people were looking at me with side eye. I could see, like, maybe some of them had even called.
Why did you pop out your...
No. It was a grown child. But, you know, they were looking at me in strange ways. I knew that probably some of them would have even called to make sure that I hope this woman has not stolen this child. So that's good. That's where I'm headed. So now we have to just teach our community. We're so grateful and we appreciate that you are, you know, that you were able to pay attention and you notice something that seems suspicious. But we need to know the next step to do in such a way that we protect even the child, so that the good that we have started, we don't destroy it, because it happens that way.
The reason why some of these people are also very skeptical is because when you take them to the police, you now become the... They're going to tell you to bring money. Where did you find it? They'll hold you. They'll hold you. So is that vicious
but
circle?
even at that, even at that, we should still always report to the police. I feel that this woman, she obviously a young woman who has not just one. Like, there are two children in that picture. You see two children. As a mother, I have been frustrated with my crying child. That's the truth. I've cried along with them because I just didn't know what to do to understand what is going on. So I can understand that I need help in whichever way I can get it. I will go back to jungle justice. When we see things like this happen, the police need to help us, and I'm happy the PRO of police is watching. Let me explain why people don't go to the police. If I catch someone and I feel suspicious and I follow them to the police, I've wasted my day, because the me that came to report the crime, I will be told I'll be told to write the brief. I'll be told to sit down and wait until the entire thing the process is clearly done. I shouldn't be victimized for reporting what I saw. If I see something go wrong and I report to the police, I shouldn't be questioned like I'm part of the crime.
They will hold you to
so
explain.
that is, for me, part of the reasons people don't go to the police station, because they don't want to also be, you know, they say, oh, you will see the crime. Oh, yeah, sit down. Tell us what you see. Right? You cannot go. You must come back next week and tell us what happened.
Let's bring this back to the doorstep of the women, because, as I said, we're still celebrating International Women's Month. We claimed the whole month. It was one day before, but now we claim the whole month. And in the spirit of this season, I think all the women leaders out there should begin to see the importance of educating the communities. It's one thing for us to sit down and wear gele and carry t-shirts and carry placard and just be dancing. That is one thing. But the other thing is the real education. So I know a lot of work is being done, but more work needs to be done, especially to the male counterparts. So maybe the women in some various communities are a bit more educated, but we need to start talking to these bus drivers. They are usually the first one when it comes to jungle justice. The bus drivers, the area boys, Pashala used to call them good boys, the good boys of Lagos. You know, all of them, we need to begin to educate them. How, when you see a crime, the first thing you do is not to throw a tire around the person. The first thing you do is to call the police. And let's know that the police in those neighborhoods must be involved. Begin to patrol. Let people know your names. My name is Mr. John. I'm the police here. Let them know so they can call you immediately when there's a problem. So you must be familiar with the community. There's been so much work done, so much work to be done at the grassroots level.
Please, let me even say this. As we're discussing jungle justice, Okada riders take one way. They run into your vehicle, you mistakenly jam them, and the driver of the car is the one that gets beaten.
Yes. I have a story.
The driver of the car, and we all know that these Okada riders are the ones that do one way. They don't even have a way. So they are interwoven between the cars, and something happens, and you will see the reaction. All the Okadas will park, block the road, and immediately pounce on the driver of the car. We need to stop this, because we must understand that people must be held accountable. If an Okada rider is accident happens on a trunk where Okadas are illegal, the person already, if he goes police station, will not get justice. At all. But jungle justice allows them just have their way. So we must come back to start educating ourselves on what is right, what is wrong. Mariah, we don't have that education. No? People don't know what is right and what is wrong anymore. So we must start teaching ourselves, this is what is right. When things go wrong, this is how you behave. When there are accidents, this is your first reaction. Is not to bring out your phone and record. It is not to start shouting, ew, ew. It is not to start blowing air on the person or pour water on somebody's head. We need to go back and start having that meetings from our
let me take this councils. Call. Dr. Ajay from London. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning to all you ladies.
Go ahead, please.
I condemn jungle justice. It's not a good thing at all. But in this scenario, I blame that mother. Nigeria is so sensitive now. If your child is crying and they put your child in a box on a bike, you know it will attract so many people's attention and suspicion. So if the man was driving a car, it would have been a different thing. Even you, all of you are in the studio, if you are walking with your child on the street and the child is crying, saying, leave me, people will challenge you. Even though it's your child, you need to explain yourself. Nigeria is too sensitive now. So you shouldn't just release a child like that, take in the box and be driving. It's endangering that man's life. Thank God they didn't kill the guy.
Remember there was a young girl too that was caught. It was in Ogun State. She stole the child from Lagos. And she was actually somewhere else, the house help. But they kept noticing that she was in the bus. They kept noticing the newborn baby. And she couldn't breastfeed. She couldn't do anything. They kept wondering, what is wrong with this? Is this your child? And that's why they were to suspect and find out that she stole the child.
The issue of the jungle justice, I had an experience once. I was going to deliver goods. I just started selling on one of these e-commerce platforms. And then I was about to take a turn to the right. I started trafficking. And as I was just about to cut in, he slammed me. This bike man slammed me from behind and broke his leg. Before I could say Jack, it was police that saved me that day. There were tons of bike men. They have surrounded my car. They were speaking their language. So I'm looking at how do we educate people who do not understand English language? How do we give them that education? How do we liaise with their heads? Because they have, that was when I found out that they have somebody who brings them from
wherever
they are coming from, brings them here and they camp them. So that particular guy was sleeping with animals in abattoir. At night, when they are done with their bike during the day, they go to the animals place in abattoir. That's where they have their phones. I went there because I had to pay for his treatment and everything. And so, and so that was the first time I was seeing that sort of lifestyle in Lagos State. And I was pained. Though, by the time the police assessed the situation, they were wrong. But because there were so many, the police said, let us go to the police station now. Thank God we came immediately. If not, they would have dealt with me. They would have burned the car, probably beating me or something. But they were wrong. So the guy tried to explain to them in their language that you were wrong. You slammed. See, it's from the back. She didn't hit you. You slammed and broke my headlights and everything. But the guy was like, I brought him from wherever he was coming from. He can't go back. We have to treat him. And I still spent money. So somebody bashes my car, and I spend money taking care of the person. And when I went to, in fact, I could not even object to spending the money when I saw the deplorable conditions where they sleep, how they sleep, all packed into each other with animals. So the education we're talking about, we need to understand exactly how these people live,
how far it goes,
how far we can go to get them. The work is plenty.
How do we survive?
I don't know. It's a mixed multitude. When I saw them that day, I went to my father-in-law is a lawyer, so he went with me to the place to see where these people were sleeping. I cried. And when they were saying, I will have to pay for it, I just said, Daddy, let's just take care of this.
Let me take this.
And you were a very young boy. Doesn't understand English. The work is many.
Are you there? Thanks for calling.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, I want to make a point of correction and also to make my point known. I'm against jungle justice. But you see, dispatch riding is not for dispatching children.
True.
It's not for dispatching children.
At all.
People have every right to suspect. And for every police to tell you that the son is the guy is a child's uncle, they need to dig deep into it. Anything can happen. This is a way we can protect ourselves. If people don't talk, how do you know? It can happen to anybody.
True.
Mariah, you are talking about children being kidnapped because you are in Lagos. Go to the northern Nigeria, where the whole family are kidnapped. And secondly, I would like to talk about this, your first topic, about this gender inequality. You see, that one is not a discrimination against women. It's something that people believe in their society. In Yoruba land here, that's what they call magu. That magu in Yoruba land here, if anybody claims anybody's wife, the man will die. Can we look at that one and say it's a gender-based discrimination? No.
It is.
You see, whenever we want to draw an argument, we should not go through this straw man ideology or straw man.
Pastor, let me pause you for a second. I hear you. Let's discuss. I like that you're taking us to Magu. So Magu, according to tradition, is that charm where that is done. Once your wife cheats on you, somebody dies. Either you die or
the man cheater will die.
But the point is, so let's just imagine that happened. Now, wouldn't you think the right thing is to take this entire situation to the ballet? Forget the circular system, right? Let's take it to the Oba's palace. This woman was caught cheating on her husband. How would you handle it? Is that not better than stripping her naked? Now, if it was the Oba himself that decreed and said, your punishment, therefore, is to strip you naked, then we'll take the Oba himself, take him to court. Yes.
Let me say something here. You see, we always try to draw up an argument that is irrelevant to support something or to win an argument. You see, this issue is much like a straw man. A straw man looking for irrelevant evidence to win an argument. This is not a gender-based. Look at Ugajilu. That is what is happening in our society. Osuka system is happening in Igbo land. Nobody is doing anything. You understand? In Yoruba land, you have Magu system where somebody claims somebody's wife and he dies. So what are we talking about? It's never about this gender inequality, please. Women are our mothers. We were born by women.
Hassan, did you hear what I said? Hassan, are you listening to me? Hassan, I need you, so I've heard you, and you've made your point, and that's a valid point. Also, system is there. Absolutely. Doesn't make it right.
Yes.
It's arguable.
We're trying to abolish that also system.
It's arguable. Well. Doesn't make it right. It's arguable.
And if, just in response to Hassan, and if we have situations where the violence is not gender-based, it does not take away from the reality that we have gender discrimination in our country, within our culture. The genital mutilation is gender-based, is gender discrimination. The fact that when a woman's husband dies, she's made to scrape off her head and maybe go hungry and stay, you know, without clothes and ashes, is gender discrimination, because a man is not expected to do that. So there may be situations where it is not discrimination against the woman, but there are so many more that it is against the woman. And this one, having the woman paraded in her community naked, is because she's a woman. It's not because she's a man, because it was a man who was caught cheating. He will not be paraded naked through the community. So that's what we're saying.
That's in itself, without any proof. That's what our conversation is about, that a woman is paraded naked without any proof that the death of her husband was based on her cheating. Even if now the death of her husband was based on her cheating, the line of action is not to strip her naked. It is to take her to court and deal with it legally. Bringing us back to the Magu system. Anybody that can find a justification for Magu, I don't even want to have a conversation.
Honestly.
Because do you know what happens to a woman that is not cheating and has Magu? She dies. If a woman has been, if a Magu is placed on a woman and she does not sleep with any other man within that period, she will die.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
So we are discussing the fact that if you suspect she's cheating, then you better be sure she's cheating and she better cheats.
So if you are wrong,
the woman's life is at risk.
So why don't we leave the marriage?
It's still gender-based.
Yes.
It is inhuman for a woman to be placed at the risk of losing her life because she's cheating. Leave the marriage. Discuss these things. Because nobody is putting that responsibility on a man.
Yes.
Nobody is putting Magu on a man for his cheating. We are not saying that cheating is right. We are saying if you found cheating, then leave the marriage, resolve the issues, dissolve the relationship, but don't put any human being's life at risk for whatever it is by your own self.
So
why are we killing the women?
Because men don't die when they cheat. So I don't understand how that was created. Yes. Men don't die when they cheat. The worst case that will happen is you leave the house or they marry somebody inside, but they don't die when they cheat.
In African culture, men
are allowed to cheat.
Men are allowed,
they are just being men.
Yes, allowed to be with different
and they say it's not gender discrimination. Now we're
I don't even know what else to say again.
done.
Miriam, thanks for calling. Are you there?
Morning.
Good morning, Miriam. You're live. Go ahead.
Good morning to the ladies.
Good morning, sister. Good morning.
I am just, the outrage is not even enough. Thank you, ladies, for bringing up this Anambra case. The thing is this, I don't even like the fact that Papa is talking about not confirmed or confirmed. It seems like you people care a lot about what Nigerians think. At this point, it is not about what you think. It is barbaric. This is unacceptable. This is backward. This is inhuman. Like, how do you ever conceive this kind of thing? Now, let me tell you what is obtainable in this tribe. This thing is spearheaded by the Umuadas. Umuadas are the women of the family of the husband. These are women, for God's sake, who spearhead this rubbish. Bring women out to humiliate them, naked. This woman probably has children. They make the children see her this way, and tomorrow we all cry about children cancelling their father's families. Who wouldn't cancel a father's relative who has put their mother through this amount of shame? Nigeria is still quiet. People are even trying as much as possible to fight a reasonable part of this act. There's nothing reasonable about it. Even if somebody decides to cheat, nobody deserves to go through this, cheating or not. Cheating has become a common thing, and that is not the greatest problem of our country right now.
Honestly,
cheating is between two people. And if anything must happen, let them deal with it. Sort it the right way. Cheating shouldn't be, it's not an economic problem.
Thank you, Mariam.
It is not a political problem.
Thank you, Mariam.
Nobody is being killed. It is not a crime. If somebody cheats, do
Thank you so much. We major in minor. So the man that is flogging the woman or parading her, he probably hasn't sorted his family problem, economic problem. He probably hasn't paid his child's school fees. He probably hasn't even gotten food for his family. But he's majoring in a minor problem that doesn't concern him. Somebody else is mad. When he feels that builds his ego. He's pumped up. Like, yes, we're going to punish you. But you not deal with the real issues.
Yes, I like the fact that Miriam mentioned women. Umuada. In fact, when you're getting married in where I come from, Umuada is the fear of God. You have to be, yes, they threaten you with, I will call Umuada for you. And I saw this play out when I was growing up. Somebody did something, and then it was even the man's fault, but he was tired of the wife. And then he used Umuada. They chased the woman out of the house. She left with barely a wrapper. And they confiscated everything, singing and dancing. They are the ones, I've said the women are the ones that uphold patriarchy.
For a society,
and we need to tell ourselves the truth as women.
That's why I keep telling Nigerians, for a society to grow, forget the president, for heaven's sake. He's too far away. Your real problem is a local government. That's the real crux of our issue. Because if you change the mentality of the local governments, who then they are the ones that do the real re-engineering about social values. Yes. That's the real cause of who we are. Yes. The federal government is so we're so wants to go to Abuja, want to be lawmaker, want to be this. Where the real problem is the grassroots. Yes. Because imagine in these communities where we have real re-education. Of what is important to us? What kind of society are we trying to
now stand
what
for?
Should we stand for? Who should we become? Should we redefine? I'm so happy that the new governor of Anambra, I'm so hopeful. I think I'm the only one that's so hopeful of this. Governor Soludo. All of us are the ladies of your field. Because I believe that Governor Soludo hopefully will begin to change some of these perspectives. Not only him, it's across the country.
Yes. But we need an example,
fresh ideas.
So what I would like the Umuada to do is when things like this happen, when a woman is caught, the Umuada comes and says we are protecting the women.
Yes, so
you know, the Umuada is no longer the one that will victimize women, but will protect the women and say, no, we will fight and collect every of our property. Yes. What did she buy in this house? We protect it. Do you know? So women must now begin to support women to defend women.
In action.
It's not about
let us redefine Umuada. We must redefine
because at the end of the day, we must support one another to ensure that the system as it is right now doesn't favor us.
Let me take Ose. Ose, are you there?
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Morayo.
Honestly.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I would like to say, first of all, that the problem of a woman in Nigeria is a woman. Sorry to say.
Know.
If you go to Okigwe today to go and check that village, to see the people who were championing the nakedness of that woman, you will discover that it was women that were doing that thing.
I said the same thing.
If you go to Okigwe, no man in Okigwe will dare naked a woman and watch her naked for no reason in Okigwe. Go there and you will see that it's women that are doing it. They are fellow women. There are people doing it. So I want you to know that the problem of women in Nigeria are women.
We need to
Please
change.
know that.
I'll say
a woman does not want to see another woman selling. In fact, you will discover that woman, her fellow women have been looking for a way to disgrace her in that ability.
So yeah, exactly. So I say you're right. You are. I mean, you're entitled to your view, and I think your view is valid in the sense that yes, there are women who are totally probably envying her. Look at how beautiful she looks. You think, oh, this one, what do you think you are? So they are. God don't catch up. But there's also that other angle where women actually want to support each other, but there's fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of being ostracized. You know, like, so it is you that to support, like, okay, all of you now. You know, because we're still dependent on this patriarchy. So we support patriarchy because, listen, if you try not to go against patriarchy, you're going to be at the losing end. We don't have a system like where in the West, where the system itself supports women. Yes. So if patriarchy tries to rear his head, trust me, the system would cut you to size, like you said. So we don't have that yet. So a woman protects another woman. Sometimes you're thinking of the cost. Do I protect my family or not?
Yeah,
but,
go ahead. But I think we should use this month to talk to each other.
Yeah.
We understand the issue of patriarchy, but we also have another problem, which is the one that we do to each other as women. I was surprised when I was watching an American show like ours, and they were saying they wanted to find out why women don't support women. So it is a global problem. Yeah. It is not just about being African and being poor or being uneducated. There's something in the way we're raising women that we look at each other first as competitors. instead of collaborators, instead of each other's support system. We need to sit down with each other and have this conversation. What can we do differently going forward? Because I don't want my Ima to look at Elizabeth as a competitor. I want her to look at Elizabeth as a collaborator. My daughter came home the other day. She's in a STEAM club, and they're always creating one thing or the other. And she came back on Friday, and she was telling me how she created this beautiful mirror. I said, I did it because, Mommy, you like decoration, so I wanted this in your house. And when she was telling the story, it was how this girl in her class helped her. Do you know, Mariah, a part of me thought, why did she, why, you know, that thought dropped in my head, that why were you not the one helping? I was, why did I have to think that first? For me, it was like, is she better, you know? But then I caught myself, and I'm like, I'm happy that you understand that we are there to help each other. You recognize her strength, and she helped you, and now you're better for it. So we need to start saying that to our children when we talk to each other. They are watching us, how we converse about each other. And that is, I think we'll see that change in mindset concerning supporting each other.
I like that.
We have to wrap up. Want to say something for you?
Yes, I just wanted to say that when we came here, we came with nothing, and we will leave with nothing. If you observe children when they play, and I like the example that you gave, you see how they support each other, help each other. But then after a while, we start getting into their head. We start, you know, telling them to protect yourself. You must be the best. You must be. And that's why some people have said that this system of somebody must come first in class should not apply anymore, because that's where that competition starts building. There are schools now, like the school my children attend, there's no first, there's no second. They just give you your grades the way it is. Either it's A or B or C, and then you move. So we need to do a lot in terms of, first of all, being aware. And I like the fact that you caught it when it came. You are a person who is self-aware. We need to get to that point where we are self-aware, so that even when those things come in, we catch it and we nip it in the bud, and it helps us phase in and raise our children better.
We have to wrap up. Unfortunately, we can't take any more comments, but I think from all this conversation, what talks to me is the fact that there's a lot of work to be done.
Thank you.
You know, we have been lots of people out there, but we're still speaking over our heads of a lot of Nigerians. English. We need to really come down, speak. Even I need to go and learn the proper Pidgin, proper Yoruba, proper Igbo, learn the language, because these are our people. They are Nigerians, you and I. These people that paraded that woman, they are you and I. They are Nigerians. They're not foreigners.
No.
You and I, if two of us travel to America today, they're not saying like, oh, this is the poor one, this is the rich. No, they are Nigerians.
Sophisticated one.
So we're the same. So what they did to her is what we should fix. We are going to fix that problem. America's not going to fix the problem for us.
Because it represents us too.
Simple. So please, there's a lot of work to be done. Let's really help Nigerians to get more better educated. It's very painful, but we'll continue this month of March. We continue this conversation. We're not stopping. We're on this matter. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye for now.